This is my recipe for beef Stifado, and before I start, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, by all means do, just by pressing the button there on Brad's World Kitchen. And these are the ingredients that I'm going to be using. I've got 800 grams here of chuck or stewing steak. That's from my local butcher. I'll be using 600 grams of these. That's these small white onions. I've got a glass of red wine. I've got beef stock. That's red wine vinegar, and that's 3 tablespoons full there. I've got 4 cloves of garlic, a medium onion, and I've got some tomato puree, 1 cinnamon stick, 3 bay leaves, and 5 cloves. I've got sugar, salt, and ground black pepper, and I've got some olive oil, which I'll be frying the meat in to get some nice brown colour, and the same with the onions. I put the olive oil now in a pan, and I've got it nice and hot, and there's our meat. And what I'm looking now is I'm not going to overcrowd the pan, but I'm starting to get some colour, and that's what I'm looking for. Like we always say in all our videos, colour is flavour. But what you want to do, well, not what you want to do, what you don't want to do, is you don't want to overcrowd the pan, because it'll start to stew, and that's not what we want. So we're going to make sure we give enough gaps in between. And I think we probably get away with doing about half of the beef, maybe one more. So now what we're looking for is to get some colour on that. And what I'll be doing then, when I get some colour and I've browned it, I'm going to be putting it into here, into our crock pot. You can see, you know, we've got some lovely colour on the beef, and that's the idea. We're just getting some caramelisation on the meat. And what I'm going to do now, bring this over here, the crock pot, and I'm going to put this in. That in there, and push that to one side. Wait, ding ding, and then we're going to be ready then to do our second batch. So the same thing again, get some more colour on this beef. Like I said, don't overcrowd the pan. Try and, you know, do it in 2 batches. Don't overcrowd it, because what you'll do is start the stew. And what we're looking for is to get some lovely brown colour on this, some really good caramelisation on this meat. And what I will do, I'll just put a drop more olive oil, just a little drop, that's all, in there. That's lovely. So what I've done now, I've taken the meat out and I put it here in our crock pot. You can see it there, and I've got some nice brown colour on the meat. See that in the background there? Well, these are our onions, and what I'm doing now, I'm popping them in, and I'm looking to get some colour on these. So and the meat juices are still left in the pan here, and what I'm looking to do is get some colour and pick up any juices that are left in the pan. Put that back in, give them a little stir, and straight away I can smell them onions now, and with the meat juices there starting to combine. And that's a lovely smell coming off that. You can see here now I've got some lovely colour on these onions, and the smell coming off them because they picked up the meat juices. Oh, it smells delicious, it really does. I'm getting really excited about this and really looking forward to the outcome of this dish. But that's it now, I'm just going to turn this off. I'm just going to show you then. You can see, I'll bring this closer. You can see our crock pot there with the beef in it, and the beef inside, and all I'm doing, I'm popping the onions now into the crock pot. That's a bit of onion there, that's great. Give that a little stir. I'm going to move this back over, out the way. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this back on here now. Just put that slowly there. I'm going to put this back on the heat. There we are, that goes back on. And I've got our onion that I've chopped. That's just our onion that I've chopped. I'm just going to put that in there, and that will also pick up many more lovely meat flavours in there. I've got garlic to go in, but what I'm going to be doing now is just looking to soften this onion, just to soften it. And then as it starts to get softened, it picks up everything in the bottom of the pan. What I'll be doing then, I'll just be adding the garlic. Well, there we are now. I've started to soften the onions and I'm adding the garlic. And you can see I've got a lovely colour on them onions. That's picked up all the excess juices that were left in the pan. So the garlic's going in. And again, I'm just looking to cook this garlic through. That's all I'm looking to do. And as soon as I add the garlic, again, because of all the beef juices and with the onions cooking, there's a fantastic smell coming up here. Right, you can see now, I've cooked the garlic through. And again, like I said earlier, all the juices have been picked up by the onion. This is our red wine vinegar. And that's going in. Just want to cook that off. And also we're putting in tomato puree. That's in. And all we're looking to do now is just to blend this together and just cook out that vinegar. I can smell that now, and I just cooked off that rawness of the vinegar. And what I've got here is just, I've got my salt and I've got my pepper. They'll be going in later on. So that's just the sugar going in. And about a teaspoon of sugar. And we just want to blend that through. Just give that a coating here now then. And again, what we always say with the sugar, we just use it to take that little bit of acidity out with the tomatoes. And now we've got this is our red wine. There's our red wine going in. Lovely. And now we're ready for our beef stock. Making sure we get it all out of there. Oh my goodness. Now what I'm looking to do now is just to bring this up to the boil and then turn it down just to simmer it through. This is just starting to come to the boil now, and all I'm doing is just making sure to give it a good stir. And what we're looking to do, there's our cinnamon stick, that's going in whole, and that'll stay in the dish. That'll stay there now until we finish it, and then we'll be taking it out at the end. We've got 3 bay leaves going in, and there's our 5 cloves. And we're just gonna, as I say, bring this up, get this boiling up quite nicely, and then we'll just turn it down to a gentle simmer for a couple of minutes, and then we'll add it to the rest of our ingredients. You can see it here now, there's our sauce. It's a lovely, lovely rich red colour. I'm just going to start to ladle this in first. And what I did, I brought that up to a nice rolling boil, and I just pour it on in. Just make sure we don't miss any of the goodness out. That's great. Now, next thing, I'm just looking to make sure that everything is covered. So we just make sure that's everything there. There's our salt going in, and our pepper. And with salt and pepper, obviously it's all a matter of taste. You don't want to over season. If I do need a bit more at the end, and I will be tasting this as sort of every hour is cooking in the slow cooker, but what I will do, I'll come back and I'll just check it, and if it needs a little bit more, then I will be putting a little bit more in there. So I'm just almost happy with that. But what I'm looking to do, that's one thing, that sauce is just, it's great, it smells delicious, and I'm just going to put a little drop more water, just a drop, just so we cover everything, and that's fine. So we want to make sure everything's covered, and then just give it a little bit more care. So and don't forget, we'll be taking the bay leaves out and that cinnamon stick. We will be taking them out at the end. So I'm happy with that now. So I'm just going to put the lid on, and I'll leave that, and we'll come back and give it a stir later on. So I've had this now in the slow cooker, the Stifado, cooking for just under 3 hours. And what I've done, I've come along and give it a stir every hour, and you can see that there. And I've checked the meat, and the meat will fall apart. You could even cut it with the back of a spoon. So now I'm satisfied with that, and I'm going to be ready to dish up. So there we have it. I've dished it up, and that's it. That's Brad's beef Stifado. Enjoy.